How's it going, everyone? I'm back with a video. Today's video is just going to be kind of like a little channel update. Really, I want to start out with still Challenger's doing fine, staying healthy, having a lot of fun with it, but I have some very big news. If you look to my left here, we have my new car. This is a 2007 BMW 335i. I'm not sure, but if you guys know BMWs, this is a E90 chassis model. Has the N54 motor. I'll kind of just go over all the specs. So it's a 3-liter twin turbo inline 6, rear wheel drive, 4-door E90's the sedan model. It's automatic, didn't go with the manual, but I do have the iDrive system, and I'm really liking it. There is some issues with it. For one, the rear bumper, a few paint dings, and then on the front as well. The guy I got it from definitely ran over a few curbs. That's nothing, we can't fix. And then the reason I got this car, I got it down in Dallas back in January, and I've kind of been, keeping it from you guys. I haven't really made any content on it because I was getting it fixed. I got it for $4,000, which for these cars and this motor is extremely cheap. And the reason it was like that because one of the, as I said, it's a twin turbo 6-cylinder. The front turbo on it had a warped shaft on it, so it would make no boost. It also, because of that, the seal went out on the turbo, so much oil was was burning, consumed so much oil. I went through literally about a quarter day driving like 20 miles, so it was pretty much undrivable, along with some other things like coolant leaks, and then brakes were bad. I'll go over everything I've done, so let me pop the hood real quick. I got the hood open. You guys can kind of see what I'm working with here, and sorry for the wind noise. It's pretty windy out here, but I gotta do what we gotta do. So yeah, this is the N54 motor right here. The turbos are down there. The front one's kind of right there, and the rear one's obviously towards the back. And this front one was the one that was pretty much blown, bad turbo. Luckily, I have some buddies who have these types of cars. That's kind of why I got into these cars in the first place. But I have some buddies who have these kind of cars. They're really knowledgeable, and they let me borrow their stuff or use their tools. And my buddy actually had a E92 335i, and he had a upgraded turbo, so he had his stock turbos just laying around. So he figured he'd lend me them to fix mine up. And obviously, I couldn't keep it stock for long. Had to do some mods while I was in there. So I did. A lot of you BMW guys are gonna know what I'm talking about, but other than that, not really. Anyways, we got the VRSF relocated inlets. Because the coolant tank originally is over here, as well as some vacuum canisters. And I had that coolant reservoir over there. Other than that, if you follow along here, I still have stock intercooler. Going to be upgrading that here soon. But then we have the VRSF charge pipe with a tile blow-off valve. I have R Motorsports 3-inch catless downpipes, and then just like Amazon catch can, which really needed. But other than that, like I said, the relocated coolant tank, and then once we relocated the coolant tank, that's when we found out that it was cracked. Because when it was over here, for whatever reason, it wasn't leaking. It's not like I don't think we broke it during when we moved it, because it's kind of the old one. Once it would get hot, it would start like bubbling coolant outside the seam, and it was just shot. So new coolant tank. The new charge pipe, the stock ones are really prone. They're plastic. They're really prone to cracking. The stock diverter valves as well are not that great, so I just decided to opt for the single tile blow valve. And then relocated inlets. Since I was already had the subframe out, had the turbo out and everything, it was easiest then to get relocated inlets. But other than that, I've been doing all the maintenance and everything. I have some more plans for this in the future. But the car is really fun to drive, honestly. The turbos are pretty small from factory. It's not a bad thing though, because they make so much torque. It just feels like you're going so fast. They spool up so quickly. But yeah, I don't know about you guys. I freaking love this car. Like I mentioned, the brakes were also shot when I got it. I replaced the front ones just about a week ago, and I still need to do the rears. They have the pads are worn. All the rotors have hot spots and everything, but I figured the front ones do most of the braking, so I'll do those first. But besides the brakes, what I have left to do, I need a new front bumper still. I should be having one of my friends. He has a parts car of this exact car. He has this rear bumper that he said he'd just trade me. So we should have both bumpers fixed soon, as well as I'm going to do a bigger intercooler. I'm going to get an oil cooler, because this is not for those of you that know, this is not a M Sport model, or it's not equipped with the M Sport package, which means it didn't come with an oil cooler. Those that did have a different, this is the oil filter right here, and they have a little housing. It's different, the thermostat's right here. But it's a pretty easy fix. I'm gonna do intercooler, oil cooler, front and rear bumpers still, and then I'm gonna get a JB4 tuner. I'm gonna try to do that, because these cars are actually pretty impressive. The stock ECU, it's the JB4 is a piggyback, so it works kind of in tandem with the stock ECU. It's kind of impressive. You can change your maps on the fly. You can go from like 5 pounds of boost to 10 pounds to like 15. And on stock turbos, you can make, I think, like 450 horsepower, and then like close to 500 foot-pounds of torque. It's pretty insane. Soon I'll have the daily. It's faster than the race car here. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this. I'm really excited. I'll be making some videos on it in the future. And yeah. And then the Challenger here, you guys know about the Challenger. You guys are all familiar with it. But what I've done been up to recently is I've actually installed some gauges. I went with I forget the name of the brand that makes the cover. But I went with the AEM air fuel ratio. And hopefully soon, maybe a boost gauge right here. I still haven't completely set up everything for the gauge. I still have to do, actually I'll show you guys. So for the gauge, you need I obviously need an O2 sensor going to your exhaust. But you can't replace your stock ones with the one that's supplied, because your stock ECU won't be happy with it. It needs one for each bank. So what they do is they supply you with a bung. Supply you with a bung, as well as an O2 sensor and the connector for it. And also the wiring for everything as well, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. But so what I'm gonna opt to do is just have the local shop, or the guys that tune the car, I'm gonna have them just drill a hole in my header close to where the stock one is, or the stock O2 sensor is, and then weld this bung in, and then from there just pretty much plug this in and go. And I'll show you guys the wiring real quick. So we're back up front now. I found that the easiest way to wire this is through, all the wires are kind of jumbled up here, but you can't really see, but down in here, if you follow the hood latch cable, that's where I opted to, there's a rubber grommet down there, that's where I opted to run the wires through. And then I had some, you can't really see, it's all under here, but I just used some butt connectors, because it's just the power and the ground is all that's needed for it to work. So I just had this thermostat wiring, and I followed just the hood latch cable up to the headlights, where in the headlights there's plenty of things that you can just connect to. I was going to bring it all the way over there to that fuse box, but I figured that would be too much wire, so it terminates about right here, so it's only about 3-4 feet of wire. So I'll show you guys this maybe. So this is the wire for the O2 sensor that it has to connect to. Like I said, I ran the power. There's two connections. There's a power and then the one for the O2. And then if you guys can see down there, you can see down to the header. You can see that O2 sensor, the stock one down there. And I'm planning just putting the this one I have here, just maybe like right about there, just like right next to the stock one, just to kind of get the same reading and everything. But I got all this stuff from Jegs, and then it's just a cover that goes over your stock A-pillar. You have to do a little bit of drilling, but it all fits in there pretty nicely. I was actually surprised how clean it looks when it's all installed. To run the wires, you're gonna have to take this trim off, as well as the door sill, and there's like one screw underneath the door sill, like right here, and then this thing comes off. And then after that, I just pulled up some of the carpet, and then, like I said, the hood latch is right here, and you can kind of, it's easier if you get up under there to look at it, but you can follow the hood latch cable, and it just goes up right in there. And then you can just follow all of your wiring like that. But yeah, guys, that's kind of gonna be wrapping up for this video. But stay tuned. I have definitely more plans for this, as well as my new car here. I'm hoping soon to do a full fuel system, and then perhaps, bottom end, maybe make it a stroker motor. Not entirely sure. I kind of have my mind set on what I want to do, but we'll see. I definitely have more content coming for this, as well as, like I said, the new car. I'm not sure if you guys really care much about BMWs, but I think they're super cool cars. Just gotta keep them reliable. But I think as long as I do all the maintenance and fix those problem-prone things, then should be okay for years to come. But other than that, that's kind of all I have for today. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.